Have you ever walked into a job interview feeling completely ready only to blow the first question? Well, if you've experienced that sinking feeling, you're not alone. I coach a lot of people preparing for an interview. What I'm going to provide you today is a lot of what I cover with them to help them prepare for interviews, which I hope will help you prepare for your next job interview. One thing to keep in mind is don't just practice answers, prepare your mindset. Most people think preparing for an interview is memorizing answers to potential questions. And well, that is half of the equation. The other half is showing up with clarity, curiosity, and confidence. Ask yourself, have I thought through the following to prepare my mind before the interview? Why do I really want the job? How does this role align with my values, my strengths, and my goals for the future? What impact do I want to make if I get the job? That level of self awareness comes through the interview, whether you say it out loud or not. We're going to cover 5 steps to prepare you for the job interview, but having that mindset throughout all of this is very important. So, step one is research and understand the job. I know that sounds simple, but a lot of people don't do that. You want to truly understand the role and the organization. So, do this by researching the company. That could be their website, LinkedIn, recent news. And a side note, if you know who you're interviewing, look them up on LinkedIn. Check out their profile, know a little bit about them. Two, know their values and their culture, and then reflect. How do you align with the culture and the values of the company you're interviewing with? Next, study the job description. And this is really important. This will set you apart. One, on your own, highlight key skills and experiences that they're seeking that you have. So highlight them with a marker, your favorite color. Two, circle the ones that will be a stretch for you and be prepared to answer those gap questions. So the first one, highlight the ones you have. Two, circle the ones that will be a stretch, but you're going to have answers to why it's a stretch. And then three, underline the skills you're missing. Just a side note, nobody has all the skills and experience usually that someone is looking for. There's going to be gaps. That's to be expected. They want you to be able to match your resume with what you're actually saying. So, for example, if the company highlights collaborative and innovation as what they're looking for, plan your responses to clearly illustrate how you successfully collaborated and drove innovation in your past roles or your current roles. This shows initiative and helps you decide if this is the right fit for you as well. Second step is to prepare memorable stories using the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result. So the first one, situation. So prepare memorable stories for situation. Again, brief context. So when you answer questions, this is how you want to have the guide for you. Where, when, with whom. So what was the situation? With where, when, and whom. Two, the task. Clearly state your responsibility or goal in that task. Three, action. Specifically, what did you do? What action did you take? And then the result. A concise outcome. What was the positive result? Here's the key. Focus on your part of the story. Show the challenge, the action you took, and the outcome. It brings your resume to life. You may be like, I don't need the STAR method. Well, it actually helps most people. It helps me think through why. Many people are talkers. And if you're a talker, you need this. This will make sure you stick to the script that you want to give and not just continue to talk about unrelated things, especially if you get stressed. So here's an example. In my previous role, 2 team members disagreed about a project's direction, which is the situation, right? As their leader, I needed to restore alignment, the task. I organized a collaborative session where everyone felt heard and we reached a consensus. That was the action. This led to successful project delivery and strengthened the team morale. That's the result. So again, you want to be very concise and answer. Step 3, practice your answers to common questions. Rehearse with feedback, not a mirror. If you don't have someone to get feedback, then use a mirror. But you really want someone that can give you live feedback. Practice with a friend, a coach, or use a video. Record yourself. Real-time feedback helps you catch filler words, body language, or unclear responses. You'll notice how many times you say or but, well. Other words, we all have filler words, and you want to know what they are and be able to catch yourself. Again, here's also a side tip. If you're working with somebody, ask them to throw you a curveball question. It sharpens your responses under pressure, something that is actually relatable, not just a crazy curveball, but have them dig in a little bit. I do that with all of my clients and just ask follow-up questions. So a lot of times it doesn't have to be a specific added question. It can be a follow-up question. So step 3 is anticipating and practicing answers to common interview questions. Questions like, tell me about yourself. Why are you interested in this role? Describe your greatest strengths or weakness. Tell me about a challenging leadership experience. And so one of the curveballs, if you will, or one of the side questions is, if they tell you about, say, a challenging leadership experience, have the person, after you give the answer, drill in a little bit more about your answer. That's how you want to know and keep going about that. Again, practice tip here, using your voice, practice aloud. Even recording yourself on your phone helps. Why? Practicing your answers helps them flow naturally in the real interview. Step 4, plan the logistics. Reduce avoidable stress. Pick your outfit the night before. Confirm time zones and interview links, especially if it's a Zoom call. Show up 10 minutes early, even if it's a Zoom call. Have your resume, notes, and a bottle of water with you. So when you go into an interview, I recommend everybody takes a copy of their resume with them. They're going to ask you questions about your resume. You do not want to just try to think, what did I write on that sheet? Or what did I turn in? So have the resume with you so you can actually be looking at it as well. Notes would be some of the things we're covering in this. You want to have the STAR method written out so you can stick to it and other things like that. So have a note sheet for you with printed information and a bottle of water. You don't want to be talking a lot. Have a throat that goes dry and they're all looking at you because they don't have water. So take care of that. Great candidates prepare for the little things because they free up mental space for the big things. And then step 5 is crucial. Prepare thoughtful questions for your interviewer. It shows engagement, confidence, and strategic thinking. A couple of examples of some questions you could ask at the end. What are the biggest opportunities or challenges in this role, or challenges that I will face in this role? What qualities do your most successful leaders demonstrate? Be nice to know what that is. What are they looking for? How do you measure success for this position? And how will I know I'm doing a good job? Those last 2 questions are really key for you to know the answers to. If they don't have a way to measure success, and you won't know if you're successful in your role, that should be a major flag for you. You should question if this is the right job. Because how will you know? How will you know if you're successful? How will you know you walk in one day and you're fired and they're like, yeah, you didn't perform? Well, how did you know that? So you want to know those last 2 questions. They may not give specifics in the interview, but you want to set the tone and the framework. They should be able to give you a system like, we have a 90-day performance review after your first 90 days, then an annual review. Great, have something in place. Key insight here. Remember, you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. Thoughtful questions communicate leadership and genuine interest. So action step for you. Do it now. If you've got an interview coming up, write down your top 3 strengths that align with the job posting. 2, create STAR responses for the 3 common questions. 3, research the company and create 2 thoughtful questions to ask. 4, do 1 mock interview with feedback. And 5, prepare your logistics and mindset the night before. So before your next interview, record a 60-second video of yourself answering, tell me about yourself. No matter how many times you've done it, do it the night before, watch it back. Would you hire yourself? That's the key question. Follow these steps and you will be confident to present yourself as the leader they want to hire. So I'd love to get your feedback. Comment below, which of these steps did you find most helpful? Or what's your favorite interview preparation tip? Let's help each other out here. List some questions or your comments below. If this video was helpful, hit like and subscribe and drop a comment. As I mentioned, all this helps me as I grow this channel for you. If you're looking for a coach or want to be on my Change Agent Leadership podcast as a client to work through a problem or something else, click on the link in the show notes. Until next time, I'm Jonathan Hankin, your Change Agent Coach. Keep questioning, keep growing, and keep leading change.